This is Robert Frank, 615, and you're watching Muscle Sport TV, the most jacked and tan show on the fucking internet.
Joe Piataro here with your MSM Sports Shot. This episode is brought to you by Iron Mag Labs. Go to ironmaglabs.com today. Your one-stop shop for all your bodybuilding and fitness needs, of course, including AndroHard, topical muscle gel as well. Colin Kaepernick. Wow. What a fall from grace, huh? One completion away, a couple of 4-yard line or something like that, from being a Super Bowl winner in 2013 to making it really close in the NFC Championship game the following season, only to lose to the eventual Super Bowl champion Seahawks, to all of a sudden out of the league within a couple of years, and the whole team just exploding also. They just, the whole team went, but a lot of it has to do with Kaepernick being the guy and being signed to that long-term deal. And then all of a sudden, pieces start to go, and then Kaepernick off the field issues, meaning, of course, the protests and all of that stuff and his inflammatory comments. I have to say I was kind of a little disappointed because although I'm not a 49ers fan, I became a Colin Kaepernick fan. It was easy to root for this guy. And even more so when I sat and had a one-on-one, face-to-face exclusive interview with him in Denver in 2013. And I found him to be a very humble, spiritual young man. Never in my wildest dreams did I think a couple of years later he was going to become this rebel, just against everything that, not only, as far as losing his football career, but losing respect just as Americans, and there was racial issues and stuff like that. And listen, I'm pro-military, pro-America, and pro-police. He is anti all of those things. So obviously, any rooting interest I had in Colin Kaepernick has waned, to put it mildly. But just looking at it objectively and as a sports writer, I find it hard to believe that there is 96 quarterbacks better than Colin Kaepernick where he can't even get a job. Obviously, his stance that he's taken politically it killed his fucking career, plain and simple. The guy, even though he did not have a great year last year, he did get the job back. Played fairly well in many games. You still saw some flashes of what he had in those first couple of seasons. But then all of a sudden he's a free agent. Niners want no part of him. Lynch didn't have to come out and say it. He said it while what he was saying other than things about Colin Kaepernick, that they wanted a good locker room and all of that. And right then and there, he didn't want no divisiveness from a guy like Kaepernick. They needed to start off fresh over there in San Fran, but there were plenty of other teams that could use a guy like Kaepernick as far as his skills on the field goes, if he didn't have all of this excess baggage. And that's what the fuck it is. You like it or not, too bad. It's proofs in the fucking pudding. But then he says he's not going to kneel in protest for the national anthem after that last season just ended. Too late, idiot. You burnt your fucking bridges. So teams wanted no part of this guy. And then he goes to Ghana on the 4th of July and makes more anti-American inflammatory remarks, more racial-type remarks. You're half black, half white. You can't ignore that you're half white, Kaepernick. It's like you're almost erasing that whole part of your fucking DNA and your makeup and what made you who you are. Embarrassing, to say the least, that I actually was rooting for this guy at one point, and I actually said, "Oh, what a nice guy," and I took a picture with him and shit, and I enjoyed writing the fucking feature on the guy. I thought it was a good story to write at the time, and we spoke about his tattoos, and he said a lot of them were scriptures and things like that, and I believe he was a Baptist, but he was very, like I said, he was a spiritual guy. And then all of a sudden he almost I think he became like a Muslim, or his girlfriend was very, just anti everything. And, well, it's anti-career now, you fucking dunce. So whatever you had, I hope you never get a job. If a guy like Tebow, who had limited skills, but people, I think, were more afraid to touch him because of the whole Christian thing. If Tebow had to go to be playing baseball to remain a pro athlete, which he's actually doing fucking pretty good with the Mets in their single A team. He's at his second level now in single A. He's tearing it up right now. I don't think that's going to, second time around the league usually. Teams figure out how to pitch you. So I think that a lot of that will come back to earth with him because he got promoted from one Class A to a different Class A. So it's obviously his first time around the league, that league, per se. So he's not going to be hitting 310 or whatever he is like he's hitting now by the end of the season. But if Tebow, people were afraid of Tebow when he was too good of a guy because he brought this Christian attitude and anti-abortion and shit like that. What makes you think, Kaepernick, that you're ever going to get a sniff? And teams will eat any load of shit to win. And teams, it's not collusion, it's fucking brains. They don't want anything to do with you. Teams that are desperate for quarterbacks, including your fucking former team, the 49ers. Hoyer and Barkley, they're going in. I guess that's their 1 and 2, and they got the guy they picked in the third. They just signed him to a 4-year deal. I mean, these guys, there is no fucking quarterback of the future on that fucking team. All right? Kaepernick, you caved in your fucking career. I hope it was worth it. I hope that pussy's good because that's why you did it. And nobody's going to say, oh, well, he's just, he found his true calling. He wants to be a martyr for the black people. And stop with your bullshit. He did it for pussy. He did it for that ass. I hope it was worth it, Cap. $32 a year, free shipping in the United States. Just go to musclesportmag.com/subscribe. And, of course, hit subscribe here on Muscle Sport TV YouTube channel. Free daily content, and we'll see you on the next episode.